Welcome to my channel. I'm Megan. I am trying to make a Saucy Cindy outfit for Halloween. No, I haven't actually been invited to any Halloween parties as of yet. But should I get invited, I will have my Saucy Cindy outfit ready to go. And it will hopefully be half decent, but who's to say? I actually wanted to make this because I have been doing a shoemaking course and I already made these, well, what were Bridgerton inspired shoes or boots. So I thought this would really work for Cinderella. What I want to do is to create sort of a corset style top, which will have some chiffon going across it. Then I want to do a mini skirt to go with it and some chiffon sleeves. So I want to do it in 3 parts. I'm going to start by trying to make a pattern from this and then figure out how to sew the boning, where is it? The boning onto it. Yeah, let's see how we go. Okay, so here is the start of my very rough pattern making. I'm just tracing the outside of the bra I already have. I'm cutting out my pattern pieces, which ended up needing a lot of allowances added onto them. So there was a lot of sticky tape onto each piece at the end. I'm now doing the world's slowest job at tracing my pattern pieces and then just cutting them out. I'm stitching the pieces of my top together, so right side to right side with a seam allowance of 1.5 centimeters. Not the best pattern making and putting together, but not the worst. I'm measuring up my boning, so cutting it so it's about 1.5 centimeters from the top and the bottom. I'm sealing off both ends of the boning. I'm using matches, which was a really bad idea. I will say it's quite fun to light a match and blow it out, but also potentially quite wasteful. So I've since bought a lighter, which should make it much quicker next time. I'm sewing the boning into the seam allowance, so literally just going straight over the middle of it. Now I'm top stitching my boning, so on the right side of the fabric, I'm stitching and just making sure that my seam allowance and boning are underneath. Now I'm getting started on the cups and painfully unpicking the material from the front of the bra, as cute as the nude is not. It was at this point I thought I should probably reinforce the fabric and add some interfacing where I'll be punching holes and threading it. I'm making my own bias binding for the top, so I drew lines where I needed to crease the material but kept bending my fingers with the iron. I'm stitching up where I added my interfacing, so both ends of the corset. And sewing the material onto my bra cups. I would definitely do this differently next time because I had a fold of material at the bottom. I'm stitching up my pieces of chiffon that will go over my chest, pinning the chiffon and attaching the cups. I actually made so many mistakes, it took me a day per cup. So I have 1 cup stitched after a day's work and 1 to go. I'm attaching my bias binding to the corset top. It definitely makes it a much neater finish, so it was worthwhile doing. Now for the best bit, punching holes at both ends of the top where I'm going to add the closure and make it look nice and fancy. Now the second best part, I'm putting in the little metal loop thingies. So if you buy a kit, it comes with a few different parts. It doesn't come with a hole puncher, unfortunately. I think you can get some where it does. Anyway, so you basically sort of plug it and just follow the directions. It's really easy. It takes maybe 10 seconds per loophole, and then it looks really nice. I want the chiffon to go across my chest and then over my shoulder and attach at the back. So I'm just stitching up where it will meet at the shoulder. I don't actually have any aglets on hand, which is, if you have a shoelace, it's that little bit that finishes it off. So my brother randomly has these cable covers, which if you heat them, so I have a heat gun for my shoemaking, they shrink onto the shoelace. I finally finished my top. So I have just started drafting my pattern for my skirt. Oh, she's looking clean. I'm tracing my pattern pieces onto the material. I used half the kitchen glasses for this so it wouldn't move. And doing some more of my painfully slow cutting. Now I'm adding in my darts. I'm stitching the front piece and then the two back pieces of the skirt together, so basically around, and sewing on the band of the skirt at the top. Now I'm sewing in my zipper. I actually made this much harder than it needed to be because I'd already sewn all of the pieces of the skirt together. After sewing the rest of the skirt up, I top stitched my band at the top of the skirt. I tried the skirt on more times than I'd care to admit to get the right length, and now I'm top stitching the hem. I finished my skirt in about 7 hours, which I'm pretty proud of. Now I'm pinning up the sleeves to finish it off. Last and absolutely least, I'm stitching up my sleeves, pinning them to my top, and sewing them on. She's finished. I can't help what I'm feeling. I don't know.